obsessed with boobs. On that note, Jenny, you are looking outstanding today. You've done well for yourself. My second memory of Sam was that he was the king of zinking, bogies and cupcakes. Any of you ballet boys over there know what a zinking is. But zinking is basically getting a small bit of spit on the end of your finger and flicking it at someone. Bogies, well, bogies, they're pretty self-explanatory. He somehow managed to persuade Liam Davenport into eating his bogies. But that's another story for another day. I don't know if you know what a cupcake is, but I'm sure if you ask Sam a little bit later, he'll give you one. If not, you can ask Jenny for a while. Ask Jenny, because she still gets them on a weekly basis. Okay, this is what I'm dealing with right now. It's a cup and a cake, so...
Oh my God!
At school, and to be honest, nothing's changed. I still found trusty bogies down the side of the settee.
Go on, Grady, keep going, son.
Leading on from school, we went to Braintree College, where obviously Sam and Jenny first met. I think one of their first memories was Sam shoving a jam or custard donut into Jenny's face and all through her hair. So if I was to say it was love at first sight, I'll be lying. Despite being at college, Sam still hadn't grown up. He once decided to swap the mayonnaise in my chicken and bacon baguette for a whole tube of acrylic white paint. Before he told me, I'd eaten the whole thing. So, cheers for that, mate. I've got Viagra in that drink of champagne. There's my raison glass here so we can... I'm not finished. Okay.
Oh my God.
He was...
Oh, well, hold on.
You skipped two there.
Okay, so Sam looks sweet and innocent, mainly because he hasn't got any facial hair. He was the king of knockdown ginger at school. His favourite game of running over parked cars got him brought home by the police. He'd like to go to a park and with no one there, call the police, wait for them to come and then just run away for no reason. He once run over the Chelmsford flyover after a night home on his way up. Sorry, I missed up the word. Yeah, he once went over the Chelmsford flyover, which, you know, as the Chelmsford people know, it's a pretty major flyover. After not home for a way out, it's ridiculous.
I imagine it's a lot of news to you.
Enough stitching Sam up, we're going to get a little bit soppy now. Me and Sam have been through a lot together. Luckily, none of them are here today.
So that's not good. We've been best friends for ages, and I'm going to freestyle now because, you know, this is going to come from the heart.
I want to take that.
Yeah. I've known these two for the last 13 years, and I can honestly say I can't picture a more perfect couple. It's like an honour that you guys asked me to be your best man, and you know, it's an honour to be here with all you guys here today. You know, to see my two best friends get married today in this amazing setting. I just can't think of anything better. Cheers to I'm going to pass pass you over to...
Ah, you didn't say welcomed us into our happy
What?
home.
Raise your glass.
Okay, pass over to George.
It's all right. It's done
He's got it now.
Woo woo!
Yeah.
Ah, he's welcome.
Right, and so on to the last speech, and let's hope there's a few less mentions about bogies. I actually had to take off 2 mentions, Alex, talking about bogies in the speech, so I think you got that area covered. Now, I may not have been to quite as many festivals as Alex in the last couple of years, but for a man that has, fortunately or unfortunately, been known to treat weekends like festivals, it'll be a miracle if I get through this, and it's probably why I've got a speech in front of me. So. I'd also like to apologise up front for mumbling, and I think I've got a lot better at that over the years, but when I first started work, people generally thought my name was Stuart. So if I am mumbling, just feel free to shout out Stuart, and then I'll pronounce my words a little bit. I also hope that this is a lot clearer than when Sam actually asked me to be his best man, which in all honesty was a complete shambles. And, I asked him, I said, have you got everything sorted, mate? I assume Alex is your best man, and I'm vying for a position of an usher here. And he reads out the position of the ushers, and he goes, yeah, my dad, my brother. And I'm thinking, I've missed out on this altogether. I've been done here. And then he starts going, well, I was thinking about having 2 best men. I'm thinking, is he asking me here? And it went on for a while, and then I went to the toilet. It was just me, Sam and Jenny. I went to the toilet, and then I came back, and Jenny goes, so are you happy? I was like, what do you mean I'm happy? Nothing's happened here. Jenny has to go to Sam, bail him out as per usual, and go, you haven't actually asked him yet. So I'd like to say, obviously at this stage, I know everyone else has said it, but the weekend and obviously the wedding has been incredible, and I'd like to thank you for kind of making us all a part of this wedding. It goes without saying, obviously the bridesmaids and of course Jenny are looking amazing today. So
Yeah.
So I'll propose a toast before I actually get started on Sam.
I like his Sam.
So when Sam asked me to be best man, I realised there were 2 main roles. The first one was to organise a stag, and Sam said early on that he wanted to go skiing, and I'm pretty sure he had sort of grand designs about going on a posh week in the Alps. And then me and Alex took over, and next thing you know, we're landing in Sofia, which resembled like the opening scene from the Borat movie. Apologies to any Bulgarians here. It's a shithole. Right, so. And as is tradition, I'm not actually allowed to mention too much about the stag, but I would like to say a special thank you to the wives and girlfriends who let their guys go away for a whole 5 nights. The next challenge, obviously, with being best man, is to write and do a best man speech, with the main challenge being to decide what can actually make the cut in front of Sam and Jenny's family. So, as Alex said, there's a few things I can't mention. So I can't mention the time that me and Sam were holding onto a tree at Secret Garden Party, or I can't actually mention the real reason why I left my passport in the cab on the way to the stag. And this time last week, I was preparing myself for this speech, thinking the main challenge here is not to get too drunk before you do the speech, and thinking, okay, we'll do the ceremony an hour later and do the wedding. Sam then told me the wedding starts at 4. And I'm thinking, what am I doing from 10 till 4? So apologies in advance, but thankfully it's not 7 o'clock on the stag do. I'm not sitting next to Ben Lovell and his infamous pleasure dome over there, so I should be alright. So I actually met Sam nearly 6 years ago. I was actually an interview for what would be my first job outside of university, and I'd had an interview with what was to be my future boss. And then Sam was actually wheeled in, and I think he had kind of 2 roles. One to actually kind of judge me and see what I was like, and the other one, I hope, was actually kind of to sell the job to me. But Sam at this stage, he wasn't particularly cut out for interviews. He'd seen my CV, and he focused on the more obscure and kind of bizarre things on the CV. And when he was trying to sell the job to me, he goes, yeah, it's all right working here, but working in telecoms isn't going to get you any birds on a Friday night. My first memories of Sam, and I sat opposite him, was that he had a terrible concentration span. He leaned his head over the monitor and started talking to me, but that wouldn't guarantee the fact he'd be in the conversation 5 seconds later. His nickname at work was Squirrel or Nutkins. But about a month in, I made the error of calling him Nutkins once, and he was obviously on a bad day, and he said to me, "Why are you calling me that? Only the other guys can call me that."
Nasty boss!
I've never called him Squirrel or Nutkins.
Filthy. I mean, Phil.
Oh, no. Wait.
Right, Nutkins.
Yeah, don't.
He also had an obsession with cutting his nails at his desk. And this extends to if you go away with Sam, he'll not only cut his fingernails, he'll also cut his toenails. So you'll see them, you'll hear the clip or you'll see the nail on the side. And last, obviously, as Alex said, is that he's always on the wind-up. For years of practice and experience, he'll always catch you out with basically something that you know is a complete joke, but years of practice had him convinced that he's telling the truth, and you fall for it every single time. His best gag actually when I was working with him was that he once put a wireless mouse into Dave's, he's over there in the corner, Dave's laptop, and he was controlling his mouse from his own computer. And Dave's there looking at the screen going, "Sam, I don't know what's going on here, mate. Like, my mouse is moving, I'm not touching it." And Sam would wait for the IT guy to come over and then sit there all innocent, like he does, without any facial hairs on his head. And he'd stop moving the mouse, and the minute the IT guy would move away, he'd just be there shaking it.
Did you record mine?
Yeah,
at
but
this
not
stage,
from the
I can
very
also mention
beginning.
the fact that sitting in front of
I
him
was
for 18
nervous,
months,
yeah.
he obviously picks his nose an awful lot. And he often tells Jenny, because Jenny goes, "Sam, could you stop picking your nose?" And his excuse is, "I'm scratching it."
It's mining.
Right, and if there's one thing that Sam's actually taught me in life, it's about kind of fiddling systems. Both in and out of work, which is actually one of his kind of specialities and probably one of his actual hobbies, if you was to list them. Sam gets a normal 25 days holiday that most people get, but he's found a way of actually carrying almost a whole holiday allowance forward each year. And he's taught me this, and some of them are a bit more subtle, such as like a day either side of the holiday. Some are pretty obvious, such as basically turning his phone off and avoiding contact with his boss. And one example of this was about 3 years ago. I was driving Sam and Jenny back from Glastonbury, and that's a regular train because neither Sam or Jenny do drive, unfortunately. And they were both asleep in the back of the car, actually in Alex's car. So thanks, mate. And it was the last day of the month, last day of the quarter, and Sam was meant to be in that day. He hadn't taken it off. His response was just to turn his phone off and go to sleep. And the next day, Sam's boss got fired. And in his own words, he went to Clapham Common to have a little cry.
Brilliant.
Those little kids.
So moving on to expenses. It's still a little hobby for Sam. He's been known to buy 100 blank cab receipts from eBay. And he once told me to submit all expenses in pencil so you can rub them out and submit them again. And as his boss at the time, he's also in the corner, will testify. Last year he tried to expense his Glastonbury ticket. So finally, for as long as I've known Sam, he's had a passionate dislike for buying train tickets. Even now, working from home 2 or 3 days a week, he'll use the same open return train ticket up to 10 times in the month before reluctantly having to buy a new one. And if I ever go and stay at his place in Chelmsford, he's normally got a couple spare for me. And this level of thriftiness, there is a reason why I'm mugging him off about this, or as Jenny said, calling him Scamiel, does actually have its uses. It can actually be credited in part to bringing Sam and Jenny back together. And about 5 years ago or so, Sam flew to Australia to rekindle their long-standing relationship, and he proudly told me, as a young boy, that he saved up for the flight by not paying for his train ticket for 18 months. And he managed that with being caught twice by the ticket inspectors or the police at Stratford Station. He also then, on his return from Australia, he told his boss he was going to be back on a Monday. Now, Sam was always meant to be back on a Thursday, but he called up and said, my flight's cancelled, and then turned his phone straight off. So he turned up to work on the Thursday with about three days of holiday saved, and he walked off pretending to be a bit of an alpha male in the office, and next thing you know, he must have done something right. He's moving in with Jenny into their place in Balham. And from there it's been a bit of a whirlwind for them both. So from what I'm sure everyone else here can see, it's never actually been in doubt that Sam and Jenny would be together. But I'm sure, like the rest of you, I've actually doubted this day would ever come. So one time actually, after a night out, Sam said to me that if he was to get engaged to Jenny, it would be the longest engagement ever. So, Jenny, congratulations for bringing that down to 6 months. You've done very, very well there. This time a little bit after this time last year, they'd actually agreed on a venue, worked out the budget and everything else. And then Brexit happened. And then the cost for Sam went up by 15%. And I could see the engine going, I'm not sure I'm doing this, mate. I'm going to leave you with, I was going to leave you with a piece of advice, both of you, but I'm just going to leave you a piece of advice to Jenny. And I'm not sure why you take this from someone who's currently sitting on the end of the table single. But, Jenny, we've got... Hey, come on!
I'll give you a kiss.
That wasn't the purpose of it, I was trying to mug myself off. Jenny, we've had numerous conversations about this in the past, but you're going to have to continue to not take offence to his complete lack of a concentration span. He will be watching any football on TV or any TV altogether and ask you a question and then disappear off. Or sometimes he calls me on the phone and the next thing I know I'm thinking, have I called him? Because he's not he's also got terrible timekeeping in that he works about 5-minute walk from me. And I'd kind of go, like, right, I'm going to meet you at your place. He goes, I'm coming down now. And I'm basically there waiting for about 25 minutes for him to come down. And I'm going, Sam, can I just come up the lift to come and meet you? Or? But on that note, right, actually, Sam. But you're just going to have to remember that Sam's a little bit special. And on that note, you two really are an amazing couple. Sam may be constantly on the wind up, but I genuinely couldn't imagine a better guy and a more perfect husband for you, Jenny. And of course, Jenny, you've always been amazing to me, and I look forward to seeing both you and Sam as husband and wife, and I'm sure more additions to the Thorpe family to come.